So MPAC is working on the policies of today, but more importantly, we are investing for Islam in America for the future. And the CLDP program is really the program that is doing exactly that, working for the future. And I'm proud to say that we have a donor, not here in Los Angeles, but in the Midwest, who has committed $100,000 to scale this program and has challenged us to raise another $100,000 for that program so that we can remove any kind of financial barrier from qualified young Muslims to go to Washington and work in the program. So I'm asking you to help us raise that $100,000 to match this great donor. And the second thing that I want to talk about is something that Dr. Marayati had produced that Nair was talking about. One of the things was the Code of Ethics in Countering Sectarianism. We as Muslims in America have the luxury and the privilege to really worship freely as we see fit. We are not beholden to any government or ideology in America. In the Middle East and South Asia, there is an ideological litmus test. But in America, regardless of the problems of Islamophobia that we suffer here in this country, we are able to practice Islam freely. And therefore, we are able to counter sectarianism in a more effective way than something that's coming from the Middle East. It will come from America. And he establishes the Code of Ethics. And I want to acknowledge Dr. Ray Jallow, who is committed to take the Code of Ethics that Dr. Marayati had produced and take it nationally and internationally. And thank you very much for that contribution, Dr. Jallow. So we have a plan. We have shown you our accomplishments. We have shown you the principles and the values of the organization. The last thing I want to talk about that everybody looks at when we're looking at evaluating organizations is the execution team. MPAC cannot do what it does with the shoestring budget that Nair talked about. Remember, it's a little bit over $2 million for 2 national offices, one in Los Angeles that works on the Hollywood Bureau and one in Washington, D.C. that does policy. No organization is able to do that. The reason why we're able to do that is because we have an outstanding group of staff that we want to thank right now. And the first person we should thank is Suhad Ubaidi. Suhad Ubaidi is our Hollywood Bureau Director, but she is a force. See? And Jihad Turk is in the audience. Jihad is now famous because of a Sarah Silverman Hulu show of all these interfaith people trying to play basketball. And we sent, and it was Sue that actually got the call from Sarah Silverman and asked Jihad to go on that show. She is also consulting on 8 Hollywood projects, goes to Sundance Film Festival, and is working on producing more young artists for Hollywood from the Muslim community. That is priceless. The second person I want to acknowledge is Hasnain Syed, our digital media director. The videos that you saw today, I always get asked, who produced those videos? Which Hollywood production company do you go to produce? It must have costed $100,000. And we said, no, it's done in-house. It's because of the work of Hasnain Syed, the Picasso of MPAC. Next, I want to acknowledge Shabana Nawaz. She has built a business model for MPAC that has brought us to the $2 million plus budget every year. And she continues to help raise funds and sponsorships for our organization. And finally, I want to acknowledge the director of our DC office, and she started as an intern for MPAC. She is now an Aspen Scholar, a Truman National Security Fellow, and she is also part of the fellowship and leadership group for Google. Huda Hawa. And last but not least is the person who's been with me the longest. It's the person who puts me in check. She was actually interviewed in the office of Dr. Marayati in his medical office 23 years ago. And Dr. Hatut asked her, he wanted to know about dating. So he asked her, so how do you have fun? And she answered, I go out with my brothers. And he said, you're hired. And immediately I said, she's made for MPAC, she's made for politics. Please welcome Lydia Burgos. So these are our directors. We don't have time to acknowledge all of our staff, but it is really the staff and the volunteers that make MPAC able to punch above its weight. And we ask you to help us now in raising $250,000 so we can scale this organization and make it even bigger and better for the future of Islam in America. I also want to acknowledge the staff of this hotel that has been very patient with us and has served us and has labored in helping us really produce another outstanding event for the organization. So this is the execution team. And when we invest in MPAC, this is who you're investing with. I'm telling you, you can't find a better team anywhere in this country.